Hey y'all, Yaritza here. Today we're gonna do something a little bit different than my normal like unboxing videos and stuff, and I'm gonna try a plan with me type of video, only because this is all witchcrafty, I'm gonna call it Witch with Me. So if you wanna just watch and kind of see how I do things, or if you wanna kind of pause, fill in along with me, I'm not really sure what the format is gonna be of this video right now. I have a rough idea, but I'm kind of doing this on the fly because I told myself I would, and I put it off because, to be honest, I'm nervous about sharing this with you guys. But I'm just gonna go for it. So I have my journal in hand. I haven't actually like set anything up yet. I did kind of think about what I wanted to keep the same and different from like my last month. And sketched very, very roughly in pencil, just like the spacing of some things for the most part. So yeah, I'm gonna just, I guess, get going. So my first step after I think of what I want and kind of just, you probably can't even see it, like really, really lightly pencil in where I want what stuff to go, which I have a post on my blog about how I usually do that. The next thing I do is just outline the stuff in like everything that's in black pen, kind of goes first, and then I'll go in and add details and color and actual like information like dates and whatever. For this part of it, I just use, for those of you who care, because I know some people do, I have these like Tombow pens that I use. So I have like the 3-pack of it usually that I order, so 0.03 millimeters, 0.1, and 0.5. Mostly I'm probably gonna use, like, I use 5 for like headlines and borders usually, and then 1 for detail work, and 3 for just normal writing typically. So if you care, these are the pens I'm gonna use. This is a, I can't pronounce it, term whatever. I'll put the name here. This is like the official like bullet journal version of it. I feel like I've already been talking too long, so let's get down to it, and I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, usually the next thing I would do is like erase the penciled in stuff. I noticed the lighting is kind of weird in some of those. Sorry, again, super immature, doing the best that I can. Before I continue, I figure it's probably a good idea to kind of explain what I've done so far. So I usually like to close out the month with like a review type of thing and then set some intentions for the upcoming month. So this is the same format that I used last month because I liked it a lot. So I've got goodbye July, thank you for teaching me, ... and I'll list a couple things here when I come in and fill in that info. I don't know what I'm gonna write yet. It's just gonna let it flow. I'll always remember, and I'll usually put a couple key memories in there, but also, yeah, just like general feelings or whatever stuff about that month that sticks out the most to me. Sometimes I'll flip back through the previous pages to like trigger myself, but I usually like to just reflect because the most important things usually kind of stick with you anyway. And then it's always good to kind of let go of the things that don't serve and everything. So with you, I release, etc. It could be bad habits, negative energy, whatever it is. Again, I don't know what I'm gonna write yet. And then we've got hello August. It's really awkward writing with the tripod and getting it on view in the camera. I have to hold my journal down in a different way than I normally do, so it's a little funky. It's fine. But my cards of the month are the Queen of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. So then I've got these cards remind me, ... and I'll put some things like messages that I feel like these cards are giving me. I haven't looked at them together much yet because I'm just setting it up, but that's what I'll fill in there. And then as we move forward, I intend, and I'll set some intentions for the month to come so I can kind of stay on track, so to speak. So that is that. The next page or spread, I guess, is like my monthly spread. So I did something a little different this month than I did in past months, and I just let the calendar take up pretty much the whole page because I want to get better about like just remembering that I have to do something in advance enough that it doesn't slip my mind. And the way I'd been doing it before, I was putting just a couple key dates and didn't have much room to fill in things like my work schedule, and I just want a better overall picture. So if like I want to do something with a friend, I can flip open this and easily see kind of what would be the best day and pay attention to upcoming posts I'm planning and that kind of stuff. Up here, I've got 1, 2, 3. These are going to be my top 3 like actionable goals or projects for the month. I haven't decided on what that is. That'll be one of the last things that I fill out because I like to kind of fill in all of the things that I know that I need to do and have upcoming and all that kind of stuff. Just I like to fill this stuff out first, get a better picture of what the month is going to look like, and then use that to figure out what I'm want to focus on. And that will also probably be influenced by the intentions that I want to set for the month. So I'll go back in and fill that as one of the last things. And then in my weekly spreads, I had been trying to include like currently reading this, watching this, listening to this, just to kind of reflect on where I'm at with that kind of stuff to look at later. I had been doing it on a weekly basis, but especially with the reading, it was putting like a lot of mental pressure on me to feel like I had to finish a book every week so that I'm not writing the same book down every single week as I slowly make my way through it. So I wanted to do it just kind of for the month, so I still have a place to add it, but I don't feel like I have to somehow find time to read a billion books all the time, which would be amazing, but I just don't have the time and energy for that. So currently reading, I wanted to give that a big chunk of space. Listening, I also wanted to give a big chunk of space. I intentionally left the watching thing a little shorter because I love TV and I love movies, but I prefer to read and to listen to music and podcasts and stuff, and so I wanted to kind of limit the space for that to remind me that this is where I really want to focus my energy as far as leisure stuff. So the next spread got a little funky. This is my like habit tracker. This I don't really have to do anything else with until it comes time to fill in these habits. But so I've got the dates numbered 1 through 31 for August, and then in rough order kind of the routine that I like to keep. So some of these things are stuff that you might think, why does someone need to track taking a shower? Like, don't humans just do that? Yeah, they do, but I want to keep it in a certain place in my routine. And let's be real, I struggle with depression, so sometimes it's nice to be like, oh, I haven't taken a shower in 2 days, I need to take a shower, like, immediately, because mental health, that can be a struggle, and I don't want to be gross. Hope that's not TMI, but if you've watched this channel before, you know I'm not gonna hide anything, so here we go. So that's a spread that I had used this past month. If you're curious, my kind of routine that I have built up is awake by 5:30, make the bed, take my meds, brew some tea while that like the water is heating up, do some altar work. So usually it's as simple as just like saying a little thing and lighting some incense, sometimes like affirmations or whatever kind of work I feel like I want to do at my altar that morning. Pull a tarot card, do my stretches, clean the litter box, take out the trash and recycling, or at least, you know, check to see if I should take it out. Take a shower, because, you know, by then I'm all sweaty and I'm taking the trash out, so that's optimal time for showering. Check my calendar so I know what's coming up, prep for the day, so like packing lunch, all that kind of stuff. If I need to, using my context. This is kind of an all-day thing. It's a getting things done thing, if you're familiar with that system. I won't go into that here. And then starting here, it's kind of the end of the night, winding down. Empty my bag for the day, enter things that I've spent into the daily budget app, which is how I do my budgeting, and it's been helping so much. 10/10 recommend. Daily budget, I know it's available on iOS, so like iPhone and stuff. I don't know about anything else, but it is awesome. If you struggle with budgeting, check it out. Log my meals. I use the Lose It app to just, I've lost like 15 pounds, go me, healthy, whatever. So make sure that I'm entering that so I keep track of it. Clear surfaces, so counters, clear my coffee table, all that kind of stuff. Empty the sink, reflect, so go back into my bullet journal and just kind of write down whatever I want for the day, look back at my tarot card of the day and see how I kind of am feeling about that now that it's nighttime. Bujo setup for the next day. Wash my face, make sure I have screens off by 10 o'clock, which I struggle with, so I want to keep that in there to keep me accountable. Do a little bit of reading, hopefully, after those screens are off if I'm not too tired, and then lights out by 11. So that's that. Now this tracker is something I've used the last couple months. I can show you that. Oop, I'm flipping in the wrong direction. It is like a tarot and other stuff tracker. Let me show you. I'm gonna show you the one for June. So this is how it looks by the end of the month usually. Just kind of, there's a few criteria that I keep track of. So when I penciled it in, I didn't think about the fact that my habits are numbered 1 through 31 going up this way, but usually I do this tracker 1 through 31 that way, and I had to kind of flip it last second, so it messed me up a little bit. Oh, it's fine, things happen. So I've got, following down from here, 1 through 31, and then I've got, this is like a line graph, so 0 through 10 to track my pain levels, because I struggle with that, sleep, stress, mood levels, so just kind of on a 1 to 10 scale. Down here, it's probably harder to see, but I've got the lunar phase and the sign that the moon is in that day. I don't know by heart what most of the symbols are, and I'm trying not to learn because I'm trying to see if I can find any patterns without like a bias of reading something and being like, oh, it's Taurus moon, that means blah blah blah. I'm trying to see if I can just kind of pick up any patterns on my own. Same with the lunar tracker here, just looking for that kind of stuff. And then these little boxes here is where I kind of color code my tarot draws, so I'll assign the majors a color, the wands, pentacles, cups, swords will each get their own color, so I can kind of see if there's any pattern with that also. again, just to give you another look at, so that's usually how it will look, just flipped at the end of the month. So I can see like, just kind, you know, I had less swords, I had a lot of pentacle energy going on, and yeah, just kind of keeping track and see if I can find any patterns in that stuff, because I'm weird like that. So that's kind of where that spread is at and what it's for. I hope this isn't super boring. It feels weird talking about this on camera. Again, I'm so sorry, the lighting is weird. Anyway, next page is super simple. There's nothing else left to do with it, except color it in if I feel like it. But this is my gratitude log, so I am grateful for, and then I've got 1 through 31 again, 2 lines for each, so that at the end of the day, I have to find something specific to that day that I'm grateful for. It just helps with mental health a lot, and with magical workings too. Gratitude is something the universe enjoys, and it is obviously healthy for like mind and spirit as well. So I won't write something like, I'm grateful for my friends. Not because I'm not, but I could write that on any day. But you know, I'm grateful that a friend reached out to me today because I was feeling really down. You know, that kind of more specific type of stuff. And then here I wrote, this is just says memories. So I'm gonna fill this in with like doodles of just, you know, like I'm trying to think, like if I'm going to an art exhibit, so I might like do a little doodle of like a piece of art that I saw, or you know, whatever, and mark it with the date, and just kind of, just to give me a little creative outlet, and like one page to kind of visually be like, oh yeah, this happened this month and whatever. And then because Llamas is coming up, I put a page here. This is where I'll put maybe my plans for it, or write about it like at the end of the day. I just kind of wanted to give it its own spread, but I'm not gonna touch it anymore right now. This is just so that I kind of marked a space for it. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to do that, but I didn't want to leave this page blank, and my weekly is gonna start here, and that's a 2-page spread, so I just kind of did that. And I just realized I've been talking for forever. I can't believe it if you've made it watching this far, but I'm basically, if you want to keep watching, at this point is when I'm going to fill in colors and dates and all that kind of good stuff. I'd been planning on sharing my weekly spread in the same way in this video, but I don't think I'm going to have enough time to do that tonight, so we'll see. Anyway, yeah, that is where I'm at this point, and let's move on to the next step. Okay, so that's it. I'm gonna kind of go over what I did because I'm sure it was pretty hard to read. So with July, I said thank you for teaching me that it's okay to take a break, the importance of thinking ahead, because I've been struggling with focusing a little too much on what has to get done now, and then I'm in a constant state of urgency as opposed to looking at what can I do today to make tomorrow easier and the rest of the week easier and the rest of the month easier, so that I can kind of get ahead of things. I've just been falling behind on that, so I want to there's a lot of good reminders last month, so I wanted to acknowledge that. That reading for others doesn't need to be scary. I did several tarot readings for a few friends last night, and it wasn't as anxiety-ridden as it usually is when I read for others. And then how critical a regular sleep-wake time is. I really fell off the wagon with that this month, and it is a big part of what caused me to need to rest and to fall behind on things. So I just kind of really, yeah, it just reminded me how important that was. I'll always remember. I had trouble thinking of like anything that happened last month, I feel like, because I was filming. So I started flipping really quick and saw a spread I did on like for keeping track of the different teas I've been trying. So because I've like recently gotten into that. So developing a love for tea, that kind of just triggered my brain. And then the awesome feedback on my tarot challenges on Instagram. I got a lot of really sweet messages, and got to talk to a lot of cool people and see a lot of cool stuff, so that stuck out in my mind a lot. That it's okay to share my blog with people in my real life. I usually keep it under wraps, but I've been telling more people about it, and it's not as scary or judgy as I thought. And then the joy of helping neighbors, just mowing lawns for people, and just like helping out, because I feel like it just feels good. So with July, I release hopefully imposter syndrome, perfectionism. Those two things show up a lot for me. Thinking about work when I'm not at work, allowing the thoughts and actions of people who don't matter impact me, and being on Instagram 24/7. I feel like I always just automatically pull it out. Like I love Instagram, don't get me wrong, but I want to like limit it to 1 or 2 times a day. And then hello August. So again, my cards were the Queen of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. So together they remind me that creativity and finances don't need to be separate. That I wrote it's okay, and then I crossed it out and wrote it's good to pursue my passions. That I'm in charge of my life, like financially and creatively, and the importance of focusing on my creative business. As we move forward, I intend to be more intentional with my time, to listen more and talk less, to leave work at work, to spend more time outdoors, get back into my lunar practices, and watch less TV and read more books. And then here I just kind of filled out what I have for now. I last minute kind of decided to color code. So the dark gray here is my work schedule. You'll notice it's just for a couple weeks. I don't have this schedule yet. I'll fill it in when it gets there. This kind of seafoam green is stuff with like friends and family members that I'm doing. So D&D, taking my dad to the doctor, that kind of stuff. This light blue I did for like the new moon, full moon, and dark moon on here. And then what was the other one? Oh yeah, so pink to remind me that I have posts on my blog and stuff coming up. That's one of the things that I like want to get more on top of. And then for my top 3 kind of focuses for the month, I decided having posts written 1 week ahead of time, at least my tarot posts and stuff like that, because it's a lot easier when I can just kind of have the post ready already. I don't know, it's just nice to not have to write everything and edit it and try and get it out on time. I would just kind of like to anticipate, again, more of that, getting on top of things before they absolutely need to get done, so that I'm like less stressed out. Revamping the website. I've got a lot of kind of time off of work, and I've been wanting to redo the homepage, make it more organized, easier to find what you're looking for, all that kind of good stuff. And landscaping the yard. I finally got a fence up in my backyard, and so I want to start like laying down stuff, just kind of figuring out how I want that to look. So that's that. Just color coded those things on this page, added a little bit of color here and here, and that's it. That is my setup for this month. Hopefully I'll be able to show you guys my weekly setup also. It won't be in this video, I just don't have enough time. I have to go do other things, it's fine. But thank you for being here. If you've made it this far, you're amazing, and I hope that it was helpful and that you liked it. Let me know what you liked or didn't like, if you want to see more of something next time or less or whatever. I'm here to help and share my passion for witchcraft and bullet journaling with you, so just let me know the best way that I can do that. You can check out my site or contribute or like or subscribe or whatever. Do all the things, don't do all the things, just have a great day. Thanks for being here. Love you guys. Mean it.